We didn't finish that one that night. I've seen it before, so it's whatevs, but it was just like,
Yeah, I would also be out. I'd be done.
And Audra's going to tell us another family ghost story. This one's about Meredith and Audra's grandmother.
Not even really my mom's story. It's her mother's story. I guess it was probably back in the 60s or 70s or something.
Okay.
They were playing with a Ouija board.
Bad vibes.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother was not comfortable with it, apparently, and neither would I.
She's smart.
They were playing with the Ouija board, and they very obviously got in contact with, like, an actual spirit because, you know, they started asking it questions, and the spirit was saying, oh, yes, I am a deceased uncle. I forget exactly whose husband they were claiming to be, like, what the name was.
But someone that they knew.
Yeah.
Someone that they knew. And, you know, they were answering questions correctly. And my grandmother, as a member of our church as well, Meredith and I's church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, that's that one.
She eventually asked the spirit, you know, do you believe in Christ? And the spirit responded by smacking a water glass across the room, and it shattered. And it's like, okay, that's enough of the Ouija board.
You gotta close that shit out, though, or else
Yeah.
that'll fall on your home.
Yes.
I don't believe in a whole lot, as people know, but I am very scared of the possibility of ghosts existing. Like, I very much subscribe to science, but, like, I'm just like, the possibility is frightening.
Yeah.
Same.
So I don't mess with any of that stuff for that reason.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. And I personally believe in the spirit world as well. And my mom was very scared by that story, and she doesn't do anything paranormal as a result.
Yes, one of the
enough.
first things you learn in a religious household is do not mess with the spirit world.
Yeah.
I went through a big ghost hunting phase as a young teen, and you know what? That was all well and good, but I'm kind of glad I never found anything. Went looking, found nothing. Probably for the best.
Probably.
Yeah. All you guys can go ghost hunting. I'm going to be over here being smart.
And slightly scared.
It's a healthy amount of fear. It keeps me wise.
Yeah. It's like, oh dear, what is their fate, and will I share it? Will they bring it home to me?
That was good, thank you.
No problem.
I was hoping I would have a few more listener stories, but I don't. But that's okay, because that means that I get to tell two different stories. So we're going to start off with my, local hometown ghost story. And then I will do a personal story to end us off. And my little personal story, I think, is very cute and very fun. Good vibes to end the episode. Okay, as I think some people might know, my hometown is Renfrew, Ontario, Canada, and I lived there when I was a kid. It's not where I currently live now, but I do still live nearby. And back in 2015, when I was in high school, we had a ghost hunting crew come to investigate our local museum. Our town is really old. It was built during the logging boom, and the museum is in an old mill right on the river, and it's this beautiful old stone building. It's filled with old stuff. There's old clothing and pianos and tools, and it's really cool. And in 2015, the Canadian Haunting and Paranormal Society came to our town to investigate. The building was built as a grist mill in 1855 and has been a museum since 1969, and there's been a lot of reports that the building's haunted over the years. So what they did for this was they did a investigation, and then with just their team, and then they opened it up to the public to come. So my mom and I went. Again, I was in high school. I was really into ghost hunting. I was 15 years old, which, that's a phase I quickly grew out of as I thought further ahead as to what the implications of ghosts being real meant. But we went, and we did the stuff with the K2 meters and the night vision, and it was really fun. It was really fun. There is kind of in the basement of that building, a lot of people were kind of getting touched and hearing voices and stuff. I do think, mass hysteria is kind of a thing when you're in these situations where it's a bunch of people expecting to be haunted. Of course, also, it's right beside the water, and you're in, a basement, so, water is, a contamination level. However, if I'm going to link the website to this specific investigation, you can watch a video that they made. They have a video. You can also find photos. I'm also going to post some of the photos on our Instagram account, because I'm going to zoom in and point myself out because I am in a couple of the photos. I didn't see myself in the video, but a lot of the haunting is sometimes attributed to a murder that happened in our town back in the 1980s. Even though this, building is full of stuff that's like 200 years old, there is this murder that happened. And I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about this murder. The murder didn't happen in the building. It happened sort of nearby on like the more like main road, and there's not a lot of information at all about it. I Googled this as much as I could, but again, I don't live there anymore, so like I could only find what I found on the internet. But it happened in July of 1981. The victim was Marisa Burkowski. I'm really sorry. I looked up how to pronounce this. It's her last name is Polish, but she was 23 years old, and she was found on July 21st, 1981 in the river by the museum the day after she had last been seen walking home. And 2 years later, in 1983, a man named Leonard Joseph Shirley was convicted of her murder. I really tried to look up any other details about the case, and I couldn't find anything except for an old Ottawa Citizen like archived newspaper that from the time of the trial, where 3 other women testified that this man had either sexually assaulted them or tried to sexually assault them. So it seems like this was like a pattern of behavior with him, but a lot of people have claimed to see a woman in the museum, and a lot of people think that the woman is Marisa. My wholesome story is a lot cuter, I think, and does kind of lend more to the comforting side of haunting. If there's such thing as ghosts, then this is a comforting story. It's a personal story. I had a cat when I was a kid, and our cat was very sadly an indoor-outdoor cat. And we came home one night, and he had been struck by a vehicle, and he passed away. And a few months went by, and I was in my teens maybe, and I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and the cat was in my room, and he jumped up on the bed and like curled near my feet, and I felt all of it, like, and then I went back to sleep. Like I moved so he had room, and I went back to sleep. And in the morning I remembered 2 facts. One is that we didn't have a cat anymore, and the other was that I always sleep with my bedroom door closed, so even if we did have a cat, he couldn't just like come in unexpectedly in the middle of the night. But I do like to think that if there are ghosts, sometimes they can be your pet cat who's just coming to check up on you and have a little snooze. That's it for us for the week. Happy Halloween, everybody. If you have a personal ghost story or hometown story that you want to share with us to get into the Halloween spirit, then you can do that on our social medias or in our Discord server, which is at the link tree in the episode description for this episode. And it's also where you're going to want to be if you want to weigh in as we continue our journey in season 3.
I've been KJ, and this has been Supernatural Opinions. If you enjoyed our show, the best thing you can do is subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tell a friend. Check out our link tree in the episode description for all of our social media and any other supernatural-related projects we might be working on. Send us an email. Our address is supernaturalopinionspodcast@gmail.com, or reach out directly at KJ, at @KJ on all platforms. Thank you to Joe Veretta for our theme song, and our logo was created by Faith Ebert of faithanddesigns.ca. The episode was recorded, edited, and produced by me, Ed and KJ. If you want to hear more from me, you can check out my other podcast, Series of Opinions. And last but not least, a huge thank you to all of our guests.